Hey friends, my name is Molly. Welcome to this channel and welcome to your Nourish and Connect practice. This will be a short 15-minute, kind of mellow, gentle, feel-good, stretchy practice. Perfect for evening wind down or after work. Perfect if you're short on time. I'm a new mom and a working mom, and I've just found that honestly 15 minutes is almost all I have time for, and a lot of times it's all I need. So you don't have to be in the life stage to feel good in this practice, but just an example. Okay, so if you have any props, feel free to use them. I'm gonna use a bolster, and we're gonna get started in child's pose. If you want to use your bolster, go ahead and tuck it between your legs. Bring your knees out wide and your big toes to touch, and then rest your chest down onto the bolster. And if you don't have the bolster, you can just stretch your arms in front of you nice and long and rest your forehead onto the ground. Close your eyes here and take a few nice deep breaths. Let your shoulders soften down from your ears and your pelvis sink really heavy down towards your heels. I think it feels really good here to concentrate your breath into the back body, so the lower waist, the back of the rib cage, in between your shoulder blades. See if on your next inhale in through your nose, you can focus the breath into the back body, expanding in all directions. And then the exhale is a gentle release. Let's take 3 more cycles here. Last breath in, see if you can make it your deepest breath yet. And exhale, this time open your mouth and let the air out. Give yourself a nice sigh. Good, blink your eyes open. If you close them, walk your hands underneath your body so you come to an upright position. We're kneeling here. If you do want to kneel onto a bolster, that's a great option. We're going to take a twist. So let your pelvis, your hip bones stay facing forward. Take a twist over to the right from about above the belly button. So you're going to bring your right arm behind you, onto the ground, onto a block, onto the bolster. And think about peeling your right shoulder open on an inhale. Your gaze can follow. And on your exhale, stay here, but press your right hip forward a little bit. Inhale to find length through your spine. And exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Good, come back through center. And then over to the left, find a twist. Your left hand can be supported anywhere behind you. Your right hand can come onto your left leg. Inhale for a straight spine. And exhale, twist to the left. Gaze out over your left shoulder as you peel left shoulder back. Inhale, stay. And exhale, move through center. Roll out your shoulders here a couple times backwards. We're gonna do an eagle wrap of our arms now. So wrap your right arm underneath your left. If you want to take the double clasp, you can meet your hands in the center with your elbows pointing straight in front of you. If that feels a lot for the shoulders right now, just hug across your body onto opposite shoulder blades, either way. Again, think about expanding your whole rib cage in all directions, softening your shoulders down a little bit, and you can even close your eyes here. Feel that nice expansion along the back of the shoulders. Unwind your arms and switch sides. So wrap your left arm underneath. You can either hold on to opposite shoulder blades or find the double wrap eagle arms with palms facing in the center. And if that's the case, think about lifting your elbows a little bit and pointing them forward. A couple breaths here. Checking in where you need to soften or where you can be more present. Go ahead and unwind your arms, remove the bolster if you have been using it, and shift forward onto hands and knees. So from tabletop pose, your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are stacked over your knees, more or less. Take a little shift side to side with your hips. Feeling nice and grounded and stable here, which provides the ability to explore a little bit. Now we're going to take some wrist circles going in a clockwise direction. Do about 3 or 4. And then switch the circle. And as you come back to the center, take about 5 or 10 breaths to explore. So if that's kind of a linear cat-cow, that's a great option. On an inhale, you can drop your belly, lift your tail, lift your gaze, and pull your heart through your shoulders. And on an exhale, you can push the ground away, round through the back body, curl your pubic bone in and up. Or if you want to take barrel rolls or just any type of exploration, this is a good time to do so. You can close your eyes and listen to your body and see where it wants to take you to. Two more cycles of breath. And finish up here on your own time. If you want to linger longer, totally okay with that. As you're ready, tuck your toes, walk your hands forward just a step or so, and then lift your hips up and back, find a downward facing dog. And I like to take plenty of bend in my knees and press my heart back through my shoulders. You can walk out your dog here, sinking one heel towards the mat and then the other, back and forth. Down dog can look totally different in all sorts of different bodies. So it's more about the sensation that you feel. Are you grounded through your hands and feet? Are you able to extend your spine and press up and out of your hands, kind of shooting your sit bones up towards the sky? It's a nice full body stretch and activation here. Take another breath in your down dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. We're going to end in an Uttanasana, forward fold at the back of your space. Again, take as much bend in your knees as you want and let your head hang heavy here. Your hands can be propped up onto blocks or bolsters, or you could bring the backs of your palms to the ground and press them so that you're getting a nice stretch for the back of the forearms and the wrists. Shake your head yes and no a few times. You can roll out your shoulders. And then 3 rounds of a halfway lift. So on an inhale, bring your fingertips up to your shins. Extend your spine and the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale to lift up, halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. Good. Stay strong and planted through your feet, especially your heels and the balls underneath your big toes as you come to stand. Bring your arms up to the sky. Maybe add a little back bend if you wish. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes down. Notice how you feel so far in your practice in your body. Check in, is your mind here? If not, can you gently bring it back here? And shift your weight onto your left foot, open your eyes. We're gonna come into a tree pose, lots of variations here. If you want the full quote unquote version, bring your right foot to the inner left thigh And there's a lot of talk about not pushing into your knee, but as long as everything's kind of hugging in towards center and you feel nice and active in the front of your quad, it's okay. If you want a little bit more of a gentle version, you can bring the foot to the inner calf or even on the ground like a kickstand. So find your tree pose variation. Hands can come overhead or to heart center. Find a drishti, a gaze in front of you, a focus point. Stay for 5 breaths. Remind yourself that you're here, there's nowhere else to be. Gently release and switch legs. So ground down through your right foot, shift the weight over into your right hip, and then left foot. You can help it with your hands if you want, or you can bring it up on its own somewhere along the inner seam of the right leg. Find your balance first, and then stay nice and steady here. Although if you fall out, no worries, I do it all the time. Just come back into it. Push left inner foot and right inner thigh together. One more inhale, grow a little taller. And exhale, release. Just take a little shake out of your legs. And then as you're ready, we're gonna dive forward again into our fold and walk our hands forward into downward facing dog. Good. From here, your right foot is going to step to the outside of your right hand as your left knee lowers down to the mat. We're finding a low lizard lunge. And this is your option to take a bolster, support it underneath your pelvis, or if you want to drop down onto your forearms. I'm not really quite that open right now, and that's totally fine. Everyone's body is different. Send the breath into your pelvis, into your right inner thigh, the top of your left hip. And see if you can relax elsewhere in your body that seems to be clenching right now. Tuck your left toes if they're not tucked already. Glide your right hip up and back as you lift your left knee and find your downward facing dog. And then we'll switch it out. Left foot comes to the outside of your left hand. Right knee lowers down. Pull your chest forward, broaden across your collarbones. You can tuck or untuck the right toes. And I like to keep a little activation here by kind of hugging my inner thighs together, engaging my glute a little bit. Just in a space where I like a little more stability than really open flexibility, but that might be different for you. One more breath in this nice stretch. This time, left knee is going to meet right knee, and we find tabletop pose again. Shift your hips side to side. And then walk your hands all the way forward into a puppy pose on a Hatasana. So your hips are staying nice and high. Your heart is melting down towards the ground. And either the chest can make it first or your forehead can rest down. Here, think about wrapping your elbow or your outer armpits down towards the mat as well. Of course, if you want to be a little more supported, you can add the bolster underneath your chest. Take a deep breath in between the back of your shoulder blades. As you exhale, push your hands down into the mat. Curl your spine forward, 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 so that your thighs lower and then your pelvis lowers all the way down into the mat. Rest onto your forearms and elbows in a Sphinx pose. You can take a little sway of your hips side to side. if that feels good. Or you can stay still and think about lifting your heart forward and up, but staying nice and soft in the low back space. And close your eyes here. Notice if anything has come up in this space, in this container that you've made for yourself. Or notice if you were just able to focus on your body and breath for a few minutes and get out of the rush of thoughts or tasks that you have. Because they will get done, but you might be better off if you're able to commit 15 minutes here to just rejuvenate, recharge, reconnect, and go about your day with a little bit more awareness, more presence, more peace, or whatever that looks like for you. If you have the time, you can lower down into crocodile and prone belly shavasana by resting your forehead on the tops of your hands. And we will end our practice here. I would love for you to do a quick body scan, working your way from the tips of your toes all the way up your body to the crown of your head, and just paying attention to any areas that you could release a little bit or breathe into a little more or soften. Please feel free to stay in your shavasana as long as you have time for. Otherwise, that is the end of our practice. Thank you for being here. Thank you for carving out just a little bit of space for yourself. 15 minutes really, truly, totally makes a difference in your life. So I hope you feel that too. I hope it can be a regular practice for you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time.